nominated. Can the Honorable Premier indicate some of the responsibilities taken by government in ensuring that our children receive better, accessible, and quality education? To ensure access to school, learners residing in farms are taken to boarding schools which are state-of-the-art with the latest teaching technology. Suitable, qualified educators are prioritized for appointment. Healthy food is provided for all learners. Learner-teacher support material is topped up yearly. Tablets were given to all grade 12 learners. In cases where there is no space available at the boarding school, learners are provided with scholar transport to commute daily to and from schools. The curriculum offered in boarding school is predominantly science as well as commercial streams. The general stream is offered for learners who do not cope with the two streams. The Bella Act focuses largely on the foundation phase. Therefore, educators are subjected to in-service training to enhance their teaching methodology. Can the Honorable Premier shed some light on which quintile category are these boarding schools and what informed such decisions? Boarding schools are all no-fee schools belonging to quintiles 1 to 3 and are funded at the same level. The main factor determining the quintile is the poverty index of the feeder area and community to which the school belongs. In allocating the quintile, we consider the level of unemployment in the community, child-headed homes, and the magnitude of household depending on government social grants. The boarding schools which are allocated the quintiles are spread as follows. As Zakheni Combined Boarding School is quintile 1, Isbali Combined Boarding School, quintile 1, Emakazeni Combined Boarding School, 1, Steve Swete Combined Boarding School, also 1, Tawachoi Combined Boarding School, this one is quintile 3, and Mkondo Combined Boarding School is also quintile 3, while Shongwe Boarding School is quintile 1. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Khoza, do you have a follow-up questions?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me extend my gratitude to the Honorable Premier for the detailed responses. Only one follow-up question. Does the provincial government intend constructing more boarding schools in future? Thank you very much.
Honorable Premier.
I will not be responding about the future, because it may happen that by that time maybe there will be a need for us to build other boarding schools. But for now, we thought that Mkondo Boarding School is the last boarding school. For now, we want to concentrate on building schools in high populated areas for now. One boarding school, we're spending close to 700,000. With 700 million, not thousand, million, we can build at a range of 50 million and 54. We can build close to 12 or 14 schools with just an amount that we're spending in one school. So for now I can say no, but for the future, we'll always engage and take a decision that it will assist us by that time. Thank.
Honorable Weber.
Thank you, Speaker. Honourable Premier, thank you for that. Honourable Premier, I feel like dilapidated. I feel like this because thank you for the boarding schools and the quintile 1s, 2 and 3. But we sit with 35 to 40% of our residents that are special needs learners, and they are not categorized in quintile 1, 2 and 3. And the stress that it's put on the parents to actually pay for these learners, and the stress it puts on the teachers and everything, and they do not have this benefit. So the follow-up question is, why is our special needs boarding schools not categorized under quintile 1, 2 and 3? And if you will please forward or rush this process. So that we can really assist these vulnerable learners from us. Thank you.
Suitable solutions to all the concerns that the honourable member has raised.
Honorable Premier. Honorable Sidibe.
Yeah, thank you, Honourable Speaker, and greetings to you, the Premier, and all honourable members. Well, Honourable Premier, everything school-related or learner-related belongs under the Department of Education. And even in your responses to this question, your good responses to this question about the boarding schools attest to that. But I'm still wondering, I think we once discussed this matter here. Why is the school nutrition program for the boarding school learners falling under the Department of Agriculture? What informs that? Because I'm also told that even the meals that they used to get when the school nutrition program was still under the Department of Education, it has been reduced under the Department of Agriculture, and it's not of quality like before. I know they said the Agri-Hub, Mkhuhla Agri-Hub will play a role with the small-scale farmers or emerging farmers to provide food, but it's not the case. They still buy the food at the City Deep and other butcheries. But a major concern is that the meal has been reduced and it's not of a quality, because they say the children or learners cannot eat like they are eating in a hotel. So I just want to know, what's your position still on that, Honourable Premier? Thank you.
Premier.
I think that there is one part on your presentation, especially the concerns that our children are not getting proper meal. I think I will have to pay special attention on this one. That is the important concern that also my office will have if our children are not getting food properly. But whether it's the Department of Agriculture, in the main, when we talk of nutrition, by the way, there is a bill that we are proposing. I hope that you have read the bill in terms of nutrition program in the province, where there are various proposals that we are making. It will be good that we can engage on your recommendation when we'll be discussing this proposed bill. But at this stage, I know that for boarding school, there was a decision which was taken by my predecessor that will allow agriculture. By the way, agriculture, when you talk about food, in my mind, always there will be agriculture, just like when you talk of letters, in your mind there will be post office. When you talk of education, there will be Department of Education, crime, then police. So if it's nutrition, then I will think about the Department of Agriculture, but I'm saying that we are busy engaging to see the best option that we will take as a province. But what is in our interest in the main is that our children must be able to get a meal. I will be more comfortable if we can come here and discuss that our children are not getting proper meals in boarding schools and also in our schools general.
The next question is from Honorable S.T. Sikwakwa,
Honorable
ANC,
Speaker.
to ask the Premier.
Honorable Speaker, follow-up question.
Honorable Mkabela, I'm not recognizing you to speak. The time's allocation for questions for oral reply, it's 15 minutes, and already we have exhausted the 15 minutes, and 2 members are allowed to do a follow-up. Honorable Premier, can you proceed to the next question, which is from Honorable S.T. Sikwakwa, ANC, to ask the Honorable Premier, and we have received an apology from Honorable Sikwakwa, and Honorable Mlombo will stand in for Honorable Sikwakwa.
Addressing inequalities is essential to achieving sustainability in agriculture. High levels of inequality make it harder to increase productivity and reduce poverty and hunger. Income inequalities and access to the economy is historical reality in South Africa, and one of government's focus is to ensure that black farmers and emerging ones are part of agriculture mainstreams. In terms of the above, can the Honorable Premier share government strategy in ensuring that black commercial farmers and emerging ones are mainstreamed in agricultural economy? As a province, we acknowledge that agriculture is key economic driver. Statistics South Africa reports that there are 20,000 black farmers in the province. In order to impact positively to this sector, farmers must be integrated into the mainstream agricultural economy. The provincial government has various initiatives to ensure that no farmer is excluded. As a result, the following initiatives are underway: Mpumalanga International Food Market and Agri-Hubs. Mpumalanga International Food Market, which is scheduled to launch before the end of 2025, will generate approximately 156 direct employment opportunities and facilitate market access for around 150,000 small-scale and emerging farmers. The establishment of agricultural hubs in Bushbuckridge and Mkondo local municipalities will support local farmers and strengthen the school nutrition program. The forthcoming nutrition sourcing bill will mandate provincial state entities to procure produce from black emerging farmers. thereby aiding in securing consistent market access. Additionally, the bill proposes dedicated blended finance scheme as well as province-specific agricultural finance facility to enhance access to capital for black farmers. I think this is the continuation of the engagement that I had with Honorable Sidive on that question of the boarding school. Grain agro-processing in Nkangala Grain Corridor. The Grain Corridor in Nkangala district represents a significant agro-processing initiative. 2 grain mills, which are Rax Milling, situated in Siaba village, and Ipakeme Milling, located in Seybrands Crawl, have been established, enabling approximately 91 farmers across more than 4,000 hectares of communal land to process grains local. To ensure security of these agricultural activities, boundary fencing measuring approximately 83 kilometers has been constructed in Tembisilehane and Dr. J.S. Morocco, aimed at preventing damage of livestock and theft. Phezu komkhono Mlimi initiative, this land reform and production support program has given black farmers across the province the support to plow and plant various commodities, including grains, fruits, industrial crops, and vegetables. We are continuing with this program, and we plan to intensify it to ensure more black farmers increase their agricultural output to enable more farmers to be part of the agricultural economy. Can the Honorable Premier elaborate on the significance of the agri-hubs and the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market in dealing with the inequalities that exist in agriculture? Market access for historically disadvantaged farmers. The main challenge has been that black and emerging farmers have not habitually had access to formal markets. Their produce is sold in informal or local markets at a lower prices, which makes it hard for their business to grow. Mpumalanga International Food Market will act as a key center for gathering and distributing produce, opening in semi-rural areas such as Mkhuhlu and Mkhondo. They collect produce from smallholder farmers and provide services including storage, processing, packaging, and sometimes training or mechanization. This strategy helps to remove the geographic and systemic barriers that have historically prevented black farmers from participating in large-scale commercial agriculture. Economic inclusion through state-backed procurement. Government nutrition programs source food through middlemen with limited inclusion of black producers. The Nutrition Sourcing Bill 2025 mandates state entities, schools, and hospitals to procure direct from previously disadvantaged farmers via the MIF and agri-hubs. Thanks, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mlombo, do you have follow-up questions?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me appreciate the response by the Honorable Premier. Honorable Premier, amongst the small and emerging farmers are our young children who are participating in the Fortune 40 program. Recently, as far as a year back, there was no proper program or arrangement to integrate these children after they have graduated into the mainstream agricultural productive activities in the province. What is the progress with regards to that? Are these children integrated into the mainstream as we do with commercial farmers and emerging farmers? Thank you very much.
Speaker.
Honorable
Speaker.
Honorable Mkabela.
Yeah, I just want to say, Honorable Mlombo, ugqoke ishati elihle namuhla siyabonga.
No man, Honorable Mkabela. Honorable Premier, can you respond to the question of Honorable Mlombo?
A Fortune 40 program. The aim of Fortune 40 program was to recruit aspirant young farmers to enter into farming activities. Our intention was that is the intention of the Department of Agriculture, that we want to build farmers from subsistence farming to small scale farmers at that initiation stage. So we want them to grow up until one day they will become commercial farmers. That we will also, as government, on our nutrition program, that will buy from them. So that is the intention. Honorable member.
Are there any follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Sidibe.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. There's no way I cannot speak in my portfolio as the chairperson. And I have a passion with agriculture. And that was a proper deployment. Honorable Trudy will agree with me. Now, Honorable Premier, well, I think we are aware that we have moved from the international fresh produce market as the initial plan to a food market, correct? And that is a brilliant idea that was brought by the operators of the food market. So anyone must familiarize him or herself with the language. It's no longer fresh produce. It's food market because it's going to involve a lot of value chain things, including red meat supply, meaning our local cattle farmers will also benefit. They can sell their cows and take them to the Mkondo Up Rehab. The facility is ready for slaughtering and packaging and everything, and come to the food market, and it can go to Mozambique, Lesotho, Swaziland, or SADC, or everywhere. I think maybe it's important, MEC, that with your permission and permission of the Premier, we allow the operators, through you, Speaker, to come and present either here or somewhere, so that anyone understand this brilliant idea behind the food market. The market access that you just spoke about, is the plan and strategy is very clear there. Like you have put it also, it will benefit the household consumers. But there's also these food market squares that will be built in each and every ward out of the 400 wards of Mpumalanga.
You are now lecturing Honorable Sidibe. Can you direct your question?
Listening to him.
But I'm trying to assist in the prosecution question altogether. But what I'm saying in short, Honorable Premier, is that in brief, what I'm saying, Honorable Premier, is that the food market will address a lot of the things that were raised by the question by Honorable Squakwa, and the strategy behind the food market is a workable and a practical solution to assist the province with economic spin-off, job creation, and empowerment from the local consumers. I'm just saying to you, support it. I don't know whether you are aware about the food market squares, which are very much important for you to know. Thank you.
Honorable Premier, if you want to take it, you can take it.
I appreciate that Honorable Sidibe, unlike other politicians, that they only concentrate on bad story to tell. But at least, Honorable Sidibe, you are objective, where you think that there is a need for you to appreciate the good work that the government is doing. Then you do that. So I'm welcoming it. I hope that you must say that in public, because in public you concentrate on bad story to tell.
Honorable Premier, can you please proceed to the next question from Honorable MC Sidibe from the EFF to ask the Honorable Premier.
Honorable
Honorable Speaker, sorry, before we move from that.
Honorable Premier, can you take your seat?
Thank you very much. I just want to bring this up. I think Honorable Sidibe made a request to you and the Premier, I think also the MEC. So if maybe the Premier can say something about that request.
Yeah, I will speak on behalf of EXCO that we already have a date with this service provider that has been appointed with EXCO. We are going to engage. There are a number of issues that we'll want to engage with them. So we are. So I'm not going to speak on behalf of the speaker. It will be up to the speaker to decide.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier. There are separation of powers. This is the government role, and as the legislature, we are doing oversight over the government. It must be distinguished very clearly, honorable members, because we must not be seen wanting to do the work of the executive. We make them to account on the commitments that they are making. Honorable Premier, can you proceed to the next question? In fact, I'm saying the legislature won't be part of the presentation which Honorable Sidibe indicated. Thank you.
Honorable Premier, noting that most of the provincial entities, board of directors, are incompetent and are failing to discharge their fiduciary duties as required. A case in point is that of the MTPA Board and Komazi Special Economic Zone Board, where some of the board members does not possess the necessary qualifications to serve on the board. The MTPA board chairperson does not have a mere matric. MEGA has board members who lack the necessary experience, competency, and qualifications, like Zwelo Masilele, who falsified his curriculum vitae. The SEZ Act stipulates that for one to serve in the board must be at the level of DG, and where appropriate DDG, but this is not the case with the NSEZ board members, meaning they all don't qualify to serve on that board. Usually when we respond to questions, we don't change the questions. So some of the questions sometimes are not well phrased. But we don't change your question. I will deal with question number 1. Can the Honorable Premier clarify his role in the appointment of board of directors for the 4 public entities of Mpumalanga? When I studied this question, I realized that the person who's asking, Honorable Sidiv, you are using chapter 3. And chapter 3 is not talking about the board, it's talking about the advisory board, not the board. Chapter 3 of the SEZ Act regulates the appointment of the SEZ Advisory Board, not the governance and management of SEZ. The appointment of the SEZ Board is done in accordance with Chapter 5, Section 25, Subsection 5 of SEZ Act 2014, Governance and Management of SEZ, read with regulations made in terms of Section 25, Subsection 7 of the Act. Regulation 3, subsection 1 outlines number of persons to be appointed, not less than 3 and not more than 10. Regulation 4 outlines term of office, and Regulation 6 outlines grounds for disqualification. This is done in consultation with members of EXCO. So my only participation is when the MEC will come and make a presentation on the appointment of board members to EXCO, because he must have to appoint in consultation with EXCO. Is the Honorable Premier directly involved or taking part in the appointment of the board of directors for these public entities? The Premier is not directly involved. However, as part of the Executive Council, I am appraised during the consultation process with EXCO. These processes, according to the prescribed legislation, involve various public consultation to ensure transparency within the process. Thus, the Premier's office vet and verify and do background check to these board members before their appointment, or the Honorable Premier just rubber stamp the list of candidates recommended by the MEC to him as part of the recruitment process of the Board of Directors. Department of Economic Development conduct background check or vetting of the applicant. This is in line with the requirements of the legislation that governs all the public entities. Thanks, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sidibe, do you have follow-up questions?
Yes, I have, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well, Honorable Premier, I've sent you a birthday wishes message on your birthday, and you didn't respond or acknowledge receipt, and that is very wrong. Because
Is that a follow-up question, Honorable Sidibe?
I'm going to a follow-up question.
Relax,
That is very Honorable
it's on a
Premier,
lighter
because
note. Don't take everything.
maybe some of your members of the executive didn't send you a message, or members from your party here. So you must acknowledge such messages. It's key. But nonetheless, ukula ulingana nindlovu. Well, I think we are aware, Honorable Premier. But before I get to the Honorable Speaker, it's very suicidal to respond from an ill-informed point of view. I'm raising this in your ruling on the matter of the operators for the food market empowering us, because billions have been spent there. We know our role separately, so as executive and legislature. That's why we went there as a portfolio committee. We have benefited, they presented to us. But for
But
others to
Honorable
benefit-
Sidibe, we are done with that question. Can
Yeah,
you do
but your
follow-up?
ruling is
You
incorrect.
are
I'm
consuming
saying
time for other
sometimes
honorable members
you
to
must
do
consult
follow-up questions.
with your legal team to say, maybe let me consider it in the next meeting. Now, Honorable Premier, I think we are aware that the irregular appointment of the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone Board was reported to the public protector, and the matter is under investigation, and the investigation is way in advance. So, Honorable Premier, my question to you will be, if the public protector found that indeed the appointment of the NSEZ board was irregular and unlawful, will the Honorable Premier act against that irregular appointment by disbanding the board and holding the person who recommended the board members to you and your exco accountable? Or are you going to keep or maintain the status quo? That's my question. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Premier.
You are asking me a difficult question. It's very difficult, but I hope that we know in this country that the recommendation of the public protector is mandatory. So if there will be recommendation from the public protector, we'll have to implement as EXCO. So we are going to implement the outcomes of the investigations. So I think I have responded. But you can't conclude now while the process of investigation is still on. Let's wait for the outcome of the investigation. Then we'll be advised accordingly at that time. And I want to thank you for wishing me a birthday. I did not respond especially to you because I wanted to respond today, because today is my actual birthday and not 21st.
Speaker, I have a follow-up. There's 3 minutes left.
Are there follow-up questions
Yeah, it's
from
here.
other? Honorable Mkabela, don't disrupt this meeting.
I'm not this.
I'm running this meeting.
I know, I'm saying there's 3 minutes.
No,
Yeah,
no,
there's a
you must not do
follow-up.
that. You must not do that. I'm giving you an opportunity to speak. Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Mkabela.
I am the other honorable member. Thank you very much. Honorable Premier, I know that you are aware that there is a commotion, a serious commotion between the Nkomazi SEZ Board of Directors And as a result, there is instability within the entity, and that some potential investors are now threatening to pull out or withdraw their investment. And what is the Premier doing to address this crisis in this crucial entity that is aimed at bringing serious economic spin-offs development and job creation in this province? Thank you.
Honorable Premier.
Yeah, I know that there are some challenges, but not the way we are projecting it. We met some few weeks ago with the board, myself and the MEC, to discuss their challenges, and they requested us to give them space to go and deal with all internal problems that are affecting the smooth running of the board. They also had a meeting with the MEC on Sunday. They say, we hope that they will be able to put their personal interests in their pockets and prioritize the interests of the province. We have reminded all the role players that the license was given to the province, and the Premier delegated the responsibility to the office of the MEC. So we are working together with the board to ensure that we get investment in the province. We have requested also Honorable Mahlalele, that has been appointed as the chairperson of all the SEZ in the country, to also intervene. I gave him just 2 weeks to get into the space and assist the SEZ to start walking. They can't amble forever. They must amble and start walking and run. So that is what we're expecting from the board. Thanks.
Honorable Premier, can you please proceed to the next question from Honorable T. Marshall from the DA to ask the Honorable Premier, and we have received an apology from Honorable T. Marshall, and she delegated Honorable TMJ Khrovie Morgan.
Taking into account, Honorable Premier, that you publicly undertook to the President of Republic of South Africa that the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce or Food Produce Market will be opened by the 1st of August 2025, despite the fact that the market does not have a certificate of occupation.
Speaker.
Honorable Premier, can you please take your seat? Honorable Morgan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I don't want to waste the Premier's time. Can he respond in writing, please, to this question? Thank you very much.
It is noted. Honorable Premier, can you proceed to Honorable W.L. Weber from the Freedom Front Plus to ask the Honorable Premier.
Yeah, it is noted, and I request my office to pay special attention. I don't want us to make commitment here that we don't fulfill. 32. Regarding the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, visit to the Foot and Mouth Red Zone in Balfour. Can the Premier confirm whether the department's visit to the Red Zone in Balfour was officially cleared by the veterinary authorities? Yes, the oversight visit that took place on the 30th of July 2025 to the Ituba Agricultural Cooperative in Balfour was conducted on a farm under precautionary quarantine, and it was undergoing surveillance for foot and mouth disease. The farm itself was not infected and was therefore not classified as a red zone. Thus, it was officially cleared by the veterinary authorities. Were appropriate biosecurity measures implemented during the visit to ensure containment of the foot and mouth outbreak? Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environment, working with project beneficiaries, ensured that all biosecurity protocols were followed to the latter during the visit. The cattle were kept approximately 5 kilometers away from the visit site, preventing indirect contact. In addition, agricultural lime was applied to vehicle tires at both the entrance and exit points of the farm. Did all members of the Oversight Committee adhere to the required containment protocols while in the red zone? Yes. All members of the Oversight Committee adhered to the required protocols, and the farm was not an infected premises, but under surveillance. Susceptible animals were kept at a safe distance from the visitors, and the committee adhered to the required protocols. Were any post-visit precautions or decontamination procedures undertaken to prevent as a precaution? This is a recognized biosecurity measure, as agricultural lime can inactivate viruses carried in soil or organic matter on vehicle tires. On vehicle tires. What steps will be taken to ensure future visits to high-risk areas comply fully with veterinary and biosecurity regulations? We remain vigilant and continuous, ensuring that movements of external persons into high-risk areas remain prohibited during active infections, with access limited only to farm owners, workers, and veterinary officials. For approved visits, such as oversight visit and inspections, a risk assessment and prior clearance from veterinary authorities is required. Visitors will be obliged to wear protective clothing, comply with disinfection protocols, and maintain accurate records, especially if there is any contact with the animals. After visit, all clothing and equipment must be disinfected or disposed of, and a livestock downtime period observed before returning to other farms. These steps will ensure full compliance with veterinary and biosecurity regulations. Thanks, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Weber, do you have follow-up questions?
Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the Premier for his reply. My information was different, but is the Premier aware of the dangers of spreading of the foot and mouth disease and what it can do to our province and South Africa? It can cripple us.
Honourable Premier.
I think I have responded and acknowledged that I know the dangers. So that's why in my response here, I have indicated that we'll always comply to our own protocol to ensure full compliance with veterinary and biosecurity regulations. We will ensure that we comply.
Are there follow-up questions from other honourable members? Can the Honourable Premier proceed to the next question from Honourable F.T. Mashiane from Action SA to ask the Honourable Premier?
Premier, Mpumalanga is in a sustained unemployment crisis that is stripping young people of dignity and hope. Our province persistently records among the highest joblessness rates, affecting graduates, artisans, and the unskilled alike. While EPWP offers short-term relief, it is not a sustainable strategy. Your administration has spoken about diversification and reform, including the MEGDP, Green Economy Initiative, and Just Transition Planning. But communities need concrete delivery, not broad promises. Can the Premier share with the House what specific long-term intervention programs, budgets, and delivery times are you implementing to create permanent private sector jobs, e.g., SME enterprise support, investment facilitations, skills pipelines with guaranteed placement, and easing of red tape? The Mpumalanga Green Cluster Agency works in close collaboration with public and private sector partners, including academic institutions and civil society, to support entrepreneurs and communities in the green economy space. Two key initiatives illustrate this work, that is Just SA, a GIZ-funded initiative that strengthens the institutional capacity of MGCA as the province green cluster platform. Through this partnership, MGCA is better positioned to coordinate stakeholders, mobilize investment, and unlock green economy opportunities across Mpumalanga. Number two, South Africa Just Energy Transition Jobs First, SAJJ off, an African Development Bank funded project where MGCA serves as the project implementing unit. SAJJ off is aimed at supporting historically disadvantaged individuals, particularly women, youth, and vulnerable communities, to access opportunities in the green economy. The program focuses on green skills development, microfinance, entrepreneurship support, and social business model. It also strengthens institutional capacity, in the social sectors, develops tailored training and capacity building programs, and provide financial support to small business incubators and accelerators in the province. Beneficiaries of SAJJ include communities most affected by coal power plants decommissioning, where risks of unemployment, food insecurity, and gender-based violence are most acute. By addressing these challenges, the program contributes directly to a just and inclusive transition in Mpumalanga. In terms of SME support, we are implementing the Township and Rural Enterprise Program, which is an initiative from the National Department of Small Businesses. This program is going to be implemented in the next 5 years. A budget of 15 million has been set aside for its implementation. We are working closely with the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition and approved black industrialists to reach full production capacity to increase sustainable jobs for deserving qualified youth in the province. The province, through the BBEE Advisory Council, is preparing itself to benefit from the 100 billion rand transformation fund, which the DTIC will be rolling out in the new financial year over the next 5 years. How exactly will the province operationalize its diversification commitments? For example, through the Mpumalanga Economic Growth and Development Path, the Green Economy Cluster and Just Transition Project, including target sectors, project pipelines, investment amounts, location, and a timeline for milestone over the next 24 to 60 months. As part of the broader Just Energy Transition agenda, the province has established the Just Transition Climate Change Committee to coordinate, monitor, and guide transition-related activities in Mpumalanga. This committee is jointly overseen by my office together with the Department of Economic Development and Tourism, DDET, and the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, while the Mpumalanga Green Cluster Agency serves as Secretariat. The JET Project Management Unit, working closely with MGCA and my office, is ensuring that the JTCC is fully operationalized. Its mandate is to act as a dedicated provincial portfolio for tracking, monitoring, and reporting on JET implementation, particularly in communities affected by the decommissioning and repurposing of coal-fired power stations. Over the next decade, this effort will not only facilitate the shift to renewable energy generation, but also drive the development of alternative sustainable economic pathways. Below are the current initiatives being advanced by the provincial government, which includes the following: sustainable agriculture, that is promoting climate-smart farming, and agro-processing opportunities to safeguard food security and create rural livelihoods. Circular economy, advancing waste-to-value initiatives such as the valorization of coal-derived waste material, which include coal ash, for use in the construction sector for emerging technologies in renewable energy and aerospace industries. Through this intervention, the province is ensuring that the just transition not only replaces coal with renewable, but also unlocks new industries, protect vulnerable communities, and builds a resilient, diversified economy. What annual publicly reportable targets have you set to reduce youth unemployment over the next 5 years? And what accountability mechanism will trigger corrective action if those targets are missed? The Presidential Climate Commission recently released a research report that looked at the feasibility of 7 high-priority interventions that have the potential to offset some of the anticipated adverse economic impacts likely to result from the JET. This report is entitled The Presidential Climate Commission Short-Term Private Sector-Led Employment Strategy for Mpumalanga. The 7 potential high-impact economic opportunities include the following: growing the wood value chain, growing the citrus and citrus processing value chain, growing the tourism value chain, the production and processing of industrial hemp, development of a sustainable aviation fuel industry, development of the global business services industry, and stimulating a market for agrovoltaic in farming. As it can be discerned from the list above, the first 3 interventions are within existing economic value chains, while the latter 4 may be regarded as emerging economic value chains. One of the key considerations was the potential of each of these interventions to be implemented. The report concludes that early estimates suggest that the unlocking growth in the first 3 value chains by a compound annual growth rate of between 5.9% and 7.9% from now until 2030 could unlock between 33,000 and 47,000 additional direct jobs by 2030. The report concludes that early estimates suggest that if the conditions to grow these opportunities are achieved together, they can create up to 60,000 jobs in total. Thanks, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mashiane, do you have follow-up questions?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Premier. The second and the third question is giving me hope, but I must be honest with you. With the first question, Honorable Premier, you managed to confuse me more with a lot of abbreviations that are in that response. When I was trying to follow you, there's another abbreviation which I couldn't catch up. Maybe if I can get it, if possible, in writing. But the second and third one, I'm happy. It gives hope to the province. Thank you.
Yeah, it's noted, Honorable Mashiane. Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Premier, can you please proceed to the next question from Honorable GM Demande from MKP to ask the Honorable Premier.
You see this one. It is well phrased. Honorable GM Demande of MK Party to ask the Honorable Premier. You know, P this one. You're right, so. The matter of procuring the laptops in the Department of Education pointed to many irregularities and governance issues which led to the suspension of the HOD. Can the Honorable Premier take this House into confidence and explain how the suspension of the HOD and the investigation's findings impact service delivery in the education sector, particularly in terms of the education and management information systems and information and communication technology initiatives to ensure smooth operation for the Department of Education subsequent to the suspension of the head of the department, Ms. Mashiteng, who is the HO for Provincial Treasurer, has been appointed as an acting HOD for the Department of Education. There has not been any negative impact on service delivery. Can we expect a progress report on the implementation of the investigation's recommendation, and will it be made publicly available? Madam Speaker, I will give a detailed progress report on the implementation of the investigation recommendations, and the progress report will be made public as I have undertaken. One, the first recommendation, the Premier to institute disciplinary proceedings against the HOD in line with the applicable prescripts. The HOD is on precautionary suspension and disciplinary hearings are ongoing. The hearings were held as follows: 28 August, 3rd until 5th of September 2025, 15th and the 16th of September 2025. An acting head of department, who is currently the head officer of Provincial Treasury, has been appointed to oversee the administration of the department. Disciplinary proceedings be instituted against SMS members, namely CFO, Director Supply Chain Management, Director Management Information and Technology. No suspensions were effected regarding implicated officials. However, disciplinary proceedings have commenced since June 2025 and are ongoing. The reason these officials were not suspended was because we had conducted and concluded an investigation. And the second one was the Auditor General, who was busy finalizing audit. So we needed the official to assist in this regard, especially those that are in finance sections. The latest scheduled days are as follows: CFO 10 and 11 September 2025, but the matter has been postponed again to 13 until 15 October 2025. Director SCM 8, 9, 10 October 2025. Director MIT, the matter set for 26, 27, 28 August 2025, and it was postponed, and a new date still to be agreed upon by all role players. Disciplinary proceedings be instituted against other officials below SMS level. Deputy Director, Management Information Technology, Deputy Director, Information and Communication Technology, Senior Personnel Administrative Officer, Asset Management. No suspensions were effected regarding 23 September 2025. Deputy Director, Information and Communication Technology, 8 and 9 September 2025, but the matter is postponed and a new date to be communicated to all parties. Senior Perspective Officer, Asset Management, as the actual loss incurred by the Department of Education. On the 22nd and 23rd of May 2025, a letter of demand was sent to the service provider wherein was afforded 30 days to pay the said amount or enter into a reasonable repayment arrangement. On the 4th of June 2025, the service provider made payment arrangement and an acknowledgement of debt payment arrangement was signed between the service provider and the department, wherein an upfront payment of 480,000 was made. To date, the service provider has paid an amount of 630,000 to the department. Blacklisting the service provider on the National Treasury Register for tender defaulters, as well as reporting the same to SETA. Department of Education has invited the service provider to make a representation in compliance with Section 33 of the Constitution, read with the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act, PAJA. In addition, a letter of intention to restrict the service provider was sent to the Provincial Treasurer. Report the conduct of the service provider to the State Information Technology Agency. Service provider has been invited to make representation in compliance with Section 33 of the Constitution, read with the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act, and SETA was accordingly informed. Report any possible criminal acts such as collusion to the relevant law enforcement agencies in terms of, but not limited to, the Public Finance Management Act 1999 and the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act 2004. At this stage, no criminal cases have been opened with any relevant law enforcement agencies. Report any possible criminal elements, action, such as but not limited to financial misconduct in terms of the Public Finance Management. I think I responded on this one. Establishment of the Provincial Task Team on ICT procurement for 2024-25 financial year in the Department of Education. Provincial Task Team was established to monitor compliance regarding the procurement of ICT equipment within the Department of Education for a period 2024-25 financial year, which include, but is not limited to, the procurement of laptops for school principals and circuit managers. Members of the Provincial Task Team on ICT were appointed as follows: Sindlamini, Mr. Sindlamini, Chairperson, General Manager, Asset and Liabilities Management, Provincial Treasurer. Ms. J. Bezaden Holt, Member, also General Manager, Finance, Governance, from Provincial Treasurer. A. Belim, Member, Chief Audit Executive, Provincial Treasurer. Mr. G. Mashiana, Member, Manager, ICT, Provincial Treasurer. Mr. L. Machasa, Member, Procurement Manager, State Information Technology Agency. The Provincial Task Team report on ICT was finalized on the 2nd of July 2025. My office is monitoring the recommendation thereof. Conduct lifestyle reviews for all officials of the department implicated herein, which reviews may lead to lifestyle audits in line with the applicable prescripts. Department of Education has procured the service of Rakoma Associate to conduct a lifestyle audit in line with the applicable prescripts. Establishment of a governance review structure. I have appointed the governance review structure in the main to look into the governance structure and make recommendations that will enhance efficient corporate governance for the Department of Education. Here are the members that are appointed to the structure. Ms. T.H. Bata.
Honorable Premier, can you please take your seat? Honorable Masango, is it a point of order or?
Yes, Chair, it is a point of order. Actually, the Premier is allowed 10 minutes to respond so that we can also do follow-up of 5 minutes. But I can see he has taken 13 minutes, responding only on 2 questions. Thank you, Speaker.
No, thank you, Honorable Masang. Let me remind the Honorable Premier and also members of the Executive Council that you may not use more than 10 minutes for reply, thus allowing 5 minutes for follow-up questions from Honorable members. Honorable Premier, can you conclude?
Yeah, the question was also very long. They want an explanation in 10 minutes, but I am done. I was just indicating that we have appointed governance review structure. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ndimande, do you have follow-up questions?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the full report and the full response to this matter. I also want to appreciate the appointment of other officials and HOT, acting HOT. Thank you. I don't have other further questions.
Honorable Mkabela, these are follow-up questions from other honorable members. Honorable Mkabela, noted.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier, for the brief report on the matter of the laptop corruption and all that. But Honorable Premier, I still find it dodgy that you promised the whole province during the presser that you're going to give the outcome of the investigation at the end of June, and now we are at the end of September. Yet you are still continuing with investigation, and there's nothing tangible that we can point out that is happening, except that you mastered to remove the former MEC of Education, which sitting here I may think she was only the target. The whole thing, it doesn't make sense. Now you're saying the officials of that department who happened to be corrupt during that process are not suspended. And the reason for you not to suspend them is that you want them to assist you with the information. That is kind of dodgy, right? Assist you. The HOD is home. Those supply chain managers are sitting in the office, fiddling with the information. They are the ones who corrupted this whole thing. But you allow them to be in the office. It's dodgy, Honorable Premier. Can you please help us and the people of this province to get to the final stage of this matter? And another thing, the case, you are telling us you didn't open any case, but for them, for the service provider himself to pay back an amount of money, it's admission of guilty that there is corruption. But still, why is there no case? Because there's law enforcement agencies to deal with this, the Office of Honorable Mercy Butukensan. But when now you are overstepping, you can't do it all. This part where the service provider has now paid the money, it tells you and ourselves here that corruption was there. And now we need a case number, we need to see someone behind bars. But the only thing that we have achieved now is only to remove the former MEC, Honorable Kathy Dlamini. Thank you very much. It's unfair.
Honorable Premier.
Honorable member is saying that there is nothing that we have done since, but this report reflects so many activities that have taken place up to so far. The problem that I don't understand with members, it seems as if they want the Premier every day to go to the media and report each and every steps that is taking place in the department. On this report, you know that already we have appointed a governance review structure. What is the duty of the governance review structure in the main? It was to deal with the functionality of the department, and we're still going to get the report. There is no information that they will fiddle with, because I said that already we concluded investigation, we've got a report. So whether they are there or not there, they are not going to tamper with investigation. We are no longer even conducting investigation. Where we are now implementing the recommendations of the investigation report. So we will always, by the way, there are people that have been appointed by the department to deal with communication. It seems as if when they communicate, you don't think that is the Premier that is communicating. We have released even a report recently from the Premier's office. So it doesn't mean that if I did not call a media briefing, we're not communicating. We are going to finalize the implementation of the remedial action which were proposed by the investigation team. So always we will communicate with the public. But where I am, I think I am satisfied with the level of development on the implementation of this investigation. And I'm not going to put my big nose into disciplinary processes where I will phone people when and how to see it. We'll wait for the report. We have got these dates. We know that there is a period that this process should be finalized. So where I am, I think I am comfortable. And I accept your view that I can't do everything. That's why we've got different role players on the implementation of this recommendation. And the MEC must see at the right time, he will also get in. So it's not only the MEC that was removed. We have charged people, suspended the HOD. I think there is so much that we have done up to so far.
Honorable Premier, can you proceed to the next question from Honorable E.N. Makabane, the ANC, to ask the Honorable Premier?
No, thanks. The question from the Chief Whip of the Majority Party. Mining plays a significant role in job creation across various sectors of the economy. However, large-scale mining operations also have an increasing negative impact on the country's water quality and availability. Considering the above statement, can the Honorable Premier allude on the above statement? Indeed, there are places which are congested with coal mining in the province, and the effect of coal mining is felt mostly during rainy season as rainwater washes through the surface and storm water takes it to the raw water where plants receive their abstracted raw water for treatment before it is distributed to households. These places are found in municipalities such as Emalahleni, Stiptshwete, Msukaligwa, Tabachewu, City of Mbambela, and Chief Albert Litun. In Emalahleni municipality has the largest number of coal mines with approximately 22 operations concentrated in the area. Department of Coxta, MISA, DWS, and water service authorities in the province are working together to ensure that water quality meets the SANS 241 standard for safe drinking water. In this municipality, a reclamation project was completed and is used as a water supply alternative, which is currently benefiting the residents of Emalahleni as it augments the existing water supply system. Furthermore, 12 sand filters of the Wheatbank water treatment works have been refurbished in order to eliminate contamination. During rainy season, DWS scientists increase their monitoring testing. The mines surrounding municipalities are greatly involved in ensuring that water is supplied to the residents and are contributing greatly to service delivery such that during water interruptions, some mines make their water tankers available to supply water. Mining houses such as Seriti and Exaro have donated projects in areas where they are operating, such as the Highveld, as part of their social responsibility. Department of COGTA has assisted municipalities such as Msugalikwa and Emalahleni with water tankers to ensure reliable and safe clean drinking water is supplied to municipalities during breakdowns and major maintenance shutdown. We are closely monitoring the implementation of project for reclamation and refurbishment of water treatment plants. Emalahleni has completed a 16 megaliter per day reclamation projects of Tugela Water and also 9 megaliter per day reclamation project of Glencoe Water Plant. As a direct result of the water contamination caused by coal mining in Mpumalanga, how is Mpumalanga provincial government plan to mitigate this situation? Working with the Department of Water and Sanitation, mining houses are monitored and regulated to ensure that their operation does not contaminate the natural water resources. In cases where the water quality does not meet the standard, directives and court orders are issued to these mines to mitigate the situation. According to the PGDS, economic growth in Mpumalanga is broadly in line with the rest of the country. How is the Mpumalanga provincial government planning to increase labor-intensive industries in the process, and that our catalytic projects are implemented
Should